Hey, it's Coach Kathy, and today we're going to talk about exercise. Hey everybody, it's Coach Kathy, also known as the Bariatric Cheerleader, and this next video is going to drive some people crazy. Lately I've been nothing if not controversial, so why ruin a good thing? Let's keep that ball rolling. Today I am going to break down for you whether exercising does or does not affect your weight loss. This applies whether you're bariatric or not, so if you want to hear my answer, stick around. So yes, it's no secret I run 5Ks. I was a Zumba instructor. I love using my rebounder. I go on regular walks. I'm an avid hiker and backpacker. I like to swim 500-meter sessions. Notice I'm a 75 hard alumni, and there's a video coming about that later. But I also completed a couple of additional phases of that. So hearing all of that, you must think like, okay, Coach Kathy's one of those crazy exercisers and that's how she got so thin. No, it's actually not how I lost my weight. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today, because this is what I'm seeing all the time from you folks on these social media platforms. I keep getting inboxes and I keep seeing posts from post-op bariatric patients who are so frustrated that they can't lose weight because, and then I get this laundry list of excuses for why they can't exercise. And if you're not bariatric, I get all kinds of excuses from you too. I'll get the inboxes that say, hey, Coach Kathy, I've gained 100 pounds because I'm waiting for knee surgery, or I can't walk because I hurt my foot, or I broke my leg and I've never been able to get out of that rut, or I'm waiting for a hip replacement, yada, 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 or that I have limited mobility. I hear it, I see it all the time. So if that was the reason why people are overweight, if it was lack of exercise specifically, above and beyond anything else for the reason why people were overweight, why do I know people personally and have a couple of clients who are successfully losing weight in wheelchairs? How come I was able to lose, I'd say 90% of my weight without any exercise at all? It just doesn't make sense to conventional wisdom. But as we know, lately, most of conventional wisdom has been super wrong, and it's super wrong with this. So let's get to it. Let's talk about why exercise actually isn't the most effective means of losing weight. And it just seems simple, right? Calories in, calories out, bro science, gym bro science. And you see all these people working out like crazy in the gym. Some of them are overweight, some of them aren't, some of them are ripped. But I can guarantee you that anybody who started this journey as a morbidly obese person, or even really obese, like I actually was morbidly obese in the beginning, they weren't super concerned with how much time they were at the gym. I've actually never been in a gym once on this entire journey of losing and maintaining a 150-pound loss. The closest gym to me is an hour and a ferry ride one way away. So I'm looking at 3 hours travel time just to go to the gym. I don't think so. No, that's not happening. But it's really a hard message to hear because it's been ingrained in all of us. And if you're obese or morbidly obese, probably you've tried every diet on the planet. And we are so brainwashed and conditioned from Weight Watchers and Noom and all these other ones. They conditioned us. Even our elementary, middle level, and high school health classes conditioned us to this calories in versus calories out notion. And that if you wanted to lose weight, all you needed to do was eat less and exercise more. No, we now know that is not the case. And studies have proven this. There are meta-analyses that have been done that show that exercise is just about the least effective form of losing weight. So again, hang on, because cognitive dissonance is a real bit, it's not fun. It makes us question what we thought was true and beliefs that we held dear for years or decades. So here's the facts. You can't outrun a bad diet. You can't out-exercise a bad diet. These are phrases that if you talk to anybody in the gym who looks like what you want to look like, chances are they're going to tell you they're not eating in a calorie deficit. They're probably eating a calorie surplus, and they're focusing on muscle gains. And you're also going to hear the phrase, abs are made in the kitchen. That's absolutely true. Over 75% of your weight loss journey, the success of it or lack thereof, is going to depend on this motion right here. This is the exercise that you need to get control of. It's putting your fork to your mouth. It's not pumping iron. It's not being a slave to the treadmill. It's not hitting the pavement. It's not, doing yoga and hot yoga for 3 hours on your living room floor to a YouTube video or in all of these different studios. The biggest factor that will determine whether you are going to have fat loss and weight loss and then be able to maintain it is going to be in what you are eating. But I don't want you to think that all exercise is bad. It's not. Okay, guys, exercise is awesome for so many things. Here's what it is going to do for you. It's going to increase your metabolism through muscle growth, which is going to allow you to burn more calories at rest. It's going to, as you build muscle, be like bubble wrap for your bones. If I am, Lord willing, blessed with grandkids, I want to be chasing them around, not be knitting in a chair and have grandma be so frail and weak that we don't dare touch her when I'm 80 years old. So yeah, it's going to build muscle and it's going to help you if you do fall and maybe prevent you from having that broken hip or something that can take you out in your later years. It's going to increase your bone density. It's going to increase your immunity. It's going to increase your sleep quality. It's going to majorly increase your mental health. It's going to stabilize blood sugars. It's going to increase the health of your cardiovascular system and your circulatory system, and it can completely transform what your body looks like. Okay, so hear me out. Exercise is amazing, but here's what it's not going to do. It's not going to control your appetite. If done improperly, it's going to jack up inflammation, cortisol, which is going to produce belly fat. This is for all you chronic cardio girls out there that are treadmill slaves, and guys too. There's so many people that just focus on cardio, and most of them are still overweight. It's not going to undo your bad diet, and it's not going to be the determining factor as to whether that you are slim or whether you remain slim. Fat loss versus muscle building look very, very different. And for the majority of you who are probably coming to me about this video, you're probably morbidly obese or maybe even still overweight, and you were hoping to have this miracle cure for how to have a bunch of fat loss and a bunch of weight loss. And you were probably hoping that the bariatric cheerleader was going to give you a laundry list of exercises to do and how to achieve that. That's not what's going to happen here today, guys. Experts agree and studies show that exercise for the sole purpose of weight loss is extremely ineffective, and it's probably not only ineffective, it's the worst means of trying to achieve fat loss and weight loss. And this is what they found. People overeat because they exercised, and we were trained by Weight Watchers, Noom, and The Biggest Loser even, and all of these programs. We're not dogs. Just because you did something good doesn't mean you get food as a reward. And we grossly overestimate what we've earned through our exercise that we can eat. Okay, if you are exercising, and you should be, don't even pay attention to what those calories burned say. If you're logging it on an app like MyFitnessPal or Berrytastic and it's telling you how many calories you've burned for the day, don't even look at it. You just eat how you're normally going to eat. I do want to make sure you're properly fueled for your workouts, and we can talk about that later. But I don't want you to get into this addition and subtraction thing. Like I remember when I was on Weight Watchers, if I went for a simple 2-mile walk that was flat, it was like I could have like 300 or 400 extra calories. Okay, that's not good math, and that doesn't add up. And guess what? I stayed morbidly obese the entire time I was on Weight Watchers. So that's just an N equals 1 example, but I'm not the only one. Unless you're working out beyond 60 minutes, which most of us don't, and you absolutely do not need to be working out more than 60 minutes a day for fat loss and weight maintenance. You don't even need to preload and pre-fuel yourself for these workouts. That is a huge misnomer. People think like, oh, I'm about to work out, I better eat a bunch of calories. And then it's like, oh, I just worked out, I better refuel and refeed and eat a bunch more calories. Okay, if you're a normal person doing a normal workout that's 60 minutes or under, neither one of those statements are true. So for the chronic cardio people who are the treadmill slaves, you're jacking up the production of ghrelin, which is the ghrelin gremlin. The ghrelin gremlin hormone is going to tell you to eat your face off because you're starving. And there's no better way to trigger that than with a bunch of cardio. So exercise and food can and do work together for your weight loss and weight maintenance journey. And actually, studies do show that post-op bariatrics who have implemented exercise as part of their maintenance regime keep their weight off better and longer and at a lower weight. Like they don't have that 20 and 30% regain like some people do, or all of it. But it's not because they're exercising though, so I don't want you to confuse that, because if you go on YouTube and you see a bunch of different bariatric surgeons who are saying, this is Becky and she lost 150 pounds and she runs 5Ks twice a week. It's not the 5Ks that's doing it. It's because Becky took the time to learn how to properly fuel her body and how to eat in maintenance. And that's what this study showed, is that it's not that these post-ops that are successful are exercising, it's that exercising is just one of many things that they're doing right to maintain a proper weight in maintenance. So these are the type of people that do have exercise as part of their maintenance plan. They've developed healthy habits that look like many different things, and exercise is just one of many little things that they've put in their maintenance toolbox that's working for them. So don't confuse causation with association. So let's collectively, please, please, please stop blaming exercise or the lack thereof for the reason that we are overweight. And let's stop expecting exercise to be what's going to make us not overweight anymore. So you might say, well, Coach Kathy, you said you exercise. Why do you bother? Well, I gave you a bunch of reasons why it's so good, but this is what I want you to do. If you're new to bariatrics or if you're new to your weight loss journey, I don't want you to do anything but walk. Don't discredit the power of just walking. And I don't care if you're doing Walk Away the Pounds on YouTube here, right in your living room, if you're walking on a treadmill, or if you're walking outside. I just want you to get those steps in. This is going to do so much for your mental health. And like that post-op bariatric patient who's been successful in maintenance, it's just going to be one of many things that you're doing to change your life from maybe being extremely sedentary to having movement, and you're going to get that cardiovascular system strengthened, and you're just going to help develop healthy habits. Walking is always going to be something that's super healthy for you for all of those reasons I listed earlier. And studies show that being sedentary is the new smoking. And if you want to cut your life short, the fastest thing you can do is remain overweight and get super sedentary. Both of those are taking years off your life every single day, and both of them are very doable as far as changing. So how much walking? Ultimately 10,000 steps a day. That should be a great goal. If you can't get there yet, start at 5. If you can't get there, start at 2, but just start. Get that momentum building. If you're part of Coach Kathy on Facebook, the Bariatric Cheerleader, we have a March Momentum Challenge. It doesn't need to be March to start that. I don't care if you're watching this in August. Do something every single day to get those steps up if you're able to, if you're mobile, and get your steps increasing and have that 10,000K be a goal. And if you are walking outside, don't skip the hills. The hills and walking on an incline quadruples all the benefits. It's amazing. I'd rather see you walk 5K with a bunch of hills than 10K completely flat. So it's just something to think about there. And this can be cumulative too. You don't have to bang out that 10K all at once. This can be over the period of 24 hours. How that looks like is up to you. So as you continue to lose fat and lose weight and break through those set points, and as time marches on and eventually that scale goes down, and it's going to look more like this, but trending down overall, once you get quite a bit of fat loss, that's a great time to start considering implementing a strength training program. It's never really too early to start strength training, but again, fat loss and muscle building look kind of different. So you're going to want to lose a lot of fat first before you transition onto strength training, because you're going to eat differently for those goals. But don't discredit that statistic that told us that sedentary is the new smoking. And if you're over 50, listen to this. There's a medical term called sarcopenia. Sarco means flesh, penia means poverty. So it's actually poverty of the flesh. After the age of 50, the average adult loses 0.5 to 1% of your total muscle mass a year. So if you're not gaining muscle, you're not just maintaining, you're actually losing. So you actively need to try to maintain and make muscle as we get older, from the time we're about 50 on, and it starts wasting away. If you have an autoimmune disorder like I do, like multiple sclerosis, our body starts atrophying and shrinking those muscles a lot sooner than 50. Just know it's never too soon to start muscle building, but if you do have a significant amount of weight to lose, you're going to want to have that fat loss happen first. So I hope this dispels some myths that you had about exercising. And just don't forget that just because you walked to the mailbox and back, or because you did walk 1 or 2 miles, and if you did, that is awesome. That doesn't mean that you need to reward yourself with a Snickers, or that can justify why you had a bunch of snacks that evening, okay? If you want to see success on your weight loss journey, you are not going to be able to eat back or think you can earn your weight. You're not a dog. You don't reward yourself with food. If you want to have a treat and it's part of your 20%, you go ahead and you do that. But don't think you need to earn it beforehand with exercise, or that you need to burn it the next day with exercise, because you're never going to be able to. I'll try to post the little infographic that shows how much exercise it takes to burn off a snack pack of M&Ms. It's basically like walking the length of a football field over and over and over. I think you got to walk up and back just to burn one M&M. So don't kid yourself into thinking that you're going to be able to out-exercise a bad diet, or that you're going to have cake tonight, so you better walk a mile first. Like, it's just, one's got nothing to do with the other. Exercise isn't a punishment for bad food choices, and food isn't a reward for good exercise choices. Let's stop confusing the two. And this is what we're all about here on my page. If you haven't liked and subscribed yet, I sure hope you do. And I also have a podcast called The Bariatric Cheerleader on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And I'm just here to basically cut through the crap and to just let you know, with all full confidence, as best as I can to my abilities, through being a certified weight loss coach and with my Bachelor of Science and my own personal journey of losing and maintaining 150 pounds, what works and what doesn't. Just because we have been told things for years and held them as true beliefs doesn't mean they might actually be true. Okay, this is always changing. We're always learning new things all the time. And that's what I'm doing, because I know you don't have the time to do it. So I'm reading the books, I'm listening to the podcasts, I'm listening to the doctors, I'm doing a ton of research all the time and condensing it so you don't have to go do everything that I'm doing. And I love comments and dialogue. Let me know in the comments down below how effective or ineffective exercise has been on your weight loss or weight maintenance journey. And if there's anything else you'd like to see, I love feedback. So thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.